I just blinked. This is
27.
Sundry Weekend News for Sunday, Sundry Sunday, June 7th.
7th.
We begin with the Daily Wire.
Sundry 7th.
Drew Brees to President Trump. We can no longer use the flag to turn people away. That's a terrible Drew Brees voice.
Yeah.
I'm just making fun of what he's saying. Yeah. We can no longer use the flag to turn people away or distract them from the real issues. Maybe the people are using the flag to distract from the real issues.
Yeah, maybe,
Because it's not the anthem that's the issue.
Or the flag.
Protester in New York City appears to threaten to burn down the Diamond District if leaders do not meet demands. He sounds like a protester and not a terrorist.
Not a terrorist at all.
Nope. Looters.
Super terrorist.
Looters clear out groceries in Chicago's South Side, leaving residents with little food. That's fucked up. So none of the looters were residents? Surely some of them were.
No.
I know that a lot are people coming in from out of state or out of town, which is fucked up. But surely some. Not that they're going to share with their fellow residents, so I guess it doesn't matter anyway. David Dorn's murder exposes a massive blind spot among the BLM protests. True.
True. Because black lives only matter if it's a white guy who killed the black guy. And it's a black cop who killed the white guy. Well, no. White guy just in general kills black guy. Mm-hmm. And everything's racist. Mm-hmm. Even though, no, it's not really. Because none of them have been proven to be racially motivated.
Exactly.
They didn't go out and say, hey, look, I'm going to go kill me a black dude today. Because black dude. You know? Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, that guy's possibly robbing. Well, that's an Ahmaud Arbery thing. That's. So they shouldn't have been chasing him down, trying to arrest him. They're not the police. The dude was gone. There's no threat to anything. It's not a convenient citizen's arrest if you're chasing him down the street. Mm. So yeah, but they're definitely overcharging in that one. The guy who recorded the video is getting charged with murder, which is stupid.
Yeah.
They're never going to get a conviction because it has to be the letter of the law. So even if they do get a conviction based on the mob, then it'll be overturned as soon as a judge looks at it, reads the law to the letter, and says, well, this doesn't fit this. Mm-hmm. It's like they got to definitely downplay the whole, even the charges for that asshole who kneeled on George Floyd's neck.
Chauvin.
Yeah. Shithead?
It's
yeah, sounds right.
Second-degree murder right now, right?
Yeah, they should move it back to third-degree murder because the defense, we're going to have more riots because the defense is just going to harp on the fact that Floyd had coronavirus. Or COVID.
I don't know the difference between second and third-degree murder.
Second degree is that he was intending. Like, first degree is that you planned it and it was, like, premeditated and all that stuff.
Okay.
And then second degree is, like, your intent was to harm. Third degree is you killed that guy, so it's like almost manslaughter, but.
Two officers who allegedly pushed 75-year-old protester in viral video charged with assault plead not guilty. Good for them.
Definitely not guilty.
Good for them.
Hey, there's a whole police line here. They're saying, don't advance, back up, move back, don't advance. Old dude advanced, got bumped, not even pushed hard. But because he's a 75-year-old weakling out there not minding his own business, he fell down, bumped his head.
He thought he'd get
They
special
recognized,
old people treatment.
oh, look, he's bleeding out of his ear. Hold the line. Call the medic. Okay, good to go. They called the medic. Dude went to the hospital. They went and fought the little rioters. The department pissed everybody off by suspending the two guys, even though they didn't do anything wrong. Mm-hmm. If you're too old and weak to fight the cops, don't fight the cops.
Mm-hmm. He thought he'd get special old people treatment.
Yeah. And then everybody else quit the riot squad, which is cool. I think everybody should quit the riot squad. All the police should just take vacation time. In every city, all over the nation, just everybody just take some time off and let all this shit burn out. Because if there's no cops there, then they can't blame the cops for anything.
Yeah, we'd have the purge, though.
Don't care. I'm armed. They ain't coming to my neighborhood.
We're not as armed as I'd like to be.
We're armed well enough. Yeah, right.
I guess. The Daily Yahoo, brought to you by Yahoo News. Quote, "They saved me. How protesters protected a lone cop, a moment captured in powerful photos."
Really?
Yeah.
Protesters? Well, they probably
Wait,
saved them from the rioters.
Didn't you see this?
No.
Yeah, that's what he had to be protected from.
Well, that's cool. Look, something good happened.
5 strangers formed a human shield to keep a Louisville Metro police officer safe from angry demonstrators. Here's how it happened. Do you want me to click on it?
Angry demonstrators?
Yeah, demonstrators.
Demonstrators.
Do you want me to click on it?
Yeah. Tell me the details.
Let's see. From Louisville, Kentucky. Officer Galen Hinshaw heard the call over the radio. One of his fellow officers was in trouble. A crowd of protesters had surrounded a police cruiser at the base of the Clark Memorial Bridge. The officer inside radioed for help as protesters, strobed in blue and red patrol car lights, banged on the car's hood and windshield. Hinshaw, a 4th Division patrol officer and part of Louisville Metro Police Department's Special Response Team, drove as close as he could to the scene. As he got out of his cruiser, he was immediately surrounded by protesters. Some yelled profanities, others balled their fists. He made his way through the crowd wearing 40 extra pounds of safety gear, a baton, vest, helmet, and body armor. He was alone. As the crowd grew, Hinshaw detoured to the front of Berno's Pizzeria so he could keep his back to the wall. He needed a place to stop and reassess the situation, to be sure that nobody could get behind him. He also needed to keep an eye on his trapped colleague. Overhead, a police helicopter kept watch and occasionally flooded the intersection with a spotlight. Sirens pierced the air and protesters chanted even louder. Henshaw's nearest help was still blocks away. The crowd moved closer, and the yelling got angrier. Protesters hurled questions at him. "Are you one of the good ones? How do you think we feel?" One woman screamed, "All gas, no brakes." What does that mean?
Oh, that means she's intending on murdering him. Everybody just all gas, no brakes. That means all head, full power.
He tried to respond, but was drowned out by the cacophony of sirens and yelling. "We do care, man, we do care," he said. Hinshaw tried to reason with the crowd. I'm sorry you feel this way," Hinshaw yelled, trying to make his voice heard over the anger of the crowd. The 32-year-old was scared. It was only going to take...
Dude devoted his life to protecting the people of his city. And the people of his city want to hurt him because some asshole in another town.
It was only going to take one person and everyone would jump in, he knew. The Special Response Team trains once a month, but that hadn't quite prepared Hinshaw for what was in front of him. If the protesters decided to attack him, there were just too many of them. "Here we go," he thought. "I'm preparing to be injured." Hinshaw kept his voice calm as he radioed in. "Charlie 12, this is a 10:30. We need help. 10:30 is code for officer needs help." He watched people's hands in the crowd, making sure nobody had a weapon and scanning for things thrown from protesters in the back. It was at this moment that a man emerged from the crowd in a red University of Louisville mask covering the lower half of his face. He put himself between the closest protester and Hinshaw. The Courier-Journal captured the moment in a photograph that has now been shared across the nation. Local entrepreneur Darren Lee Jr. spotted Hinshaw in the advancing crowd and linked arms with the stranger in the red mask. Once I saw the guy with the red mask step up, I said, "I gotta step up," said Lee, who also runs a child care center. "It was reactive. I just went." He had no idea what would happen next. "I really thought at that moment, protect him. It really isn't his fault," Lee said. Lee was also worried that Hinshaw would react and hit him from behind, so he turned to reassure the officer that they were going to protect him. "He was looking nervous and scared," Lee said. "If he panicked, then there was going to be a war out there." Suddenly the protesters seemed to turn on Lee. One man who had marched with him for nearly the whole protest was surprised. Another shouted in Lee's face, "How can you protect him?" Lee got nervous. Ultimately, 5 men formed a human shield to protect Hinshaw, all of them strangers to one another. Nobody knew the name of the man to his left or to his right. 3 were black, 1 white, 1 Dominican, all linking arms to keep harm away from Hinshaw, himself half Pakistani. Okay. It doesn't matter, but okay. A human was in trouble and right is right, said Ricky McClellan, a factory worker from Old Louisville who was locked onto Lee's left arm. After reaching the bridge and watching some protesters throwing rocks at police cars, McClellan spotted Henshaw as he walked around the group and thought, "Whoa, you're by yourself?" McClellan watched as the crowd around Henshaw grew larger and louder. Then he heard Lee yell, "Lock arms! Lock arms!" That's when Julian de la Cruz saw the men locking arms and jumped in. "I saw the guys link up and I saw a weak spot," de la Cruz said, and took up a position on the end of the line. He was nervous, scared. Things could have gotten really bad, he said. The entire scene lasted no more than 2 minutes. It felt much longer to those who were there. Henshaw's squad arrived, and Lee escorted him back to his unit. Henshaw thanked him. For de la Cruz, a local businessman, the moment was about accountability. "If I can hold my brothers accountable, if I can march with my brothers and turn against them to say this isn't right, that's where the accountability comes in," he said. "In the end, that's all that we are asking for," said de la Cruz, whose uncle is a police officer. "What we need is for those great cops to hold their brothers and sisters accountable at all times." That's what I'm saying. Just enforce existing rules and laws and hold each other accountable more. As proud as de la Cruz is of that night, he shakes his head and says that this shouldn't be an extraordinary event. This should be the norm, he said. Well, the riots, the angry mobs shouldn't be the norm. De la Cruz also feels that media images of violence, vandalism, and looting misrepresent Louisville and the protest. "What happened that night with us linking arms was just one of many heroic acts that night," he said. He hopes that those are the moments that define Louisville. "That is Louisville," de la Cruz said. "Louisville showed up that night." Lee agreed. "Nobody knew anybody, but we just stood up and did that," he said. "If the officer was black, we would have done the same thing. He's somebody else's son. He's somebody else's loved one." Henshaw has reached out to the men through social media and texts, but he's looking forward to meeting them all and thanking them in person. George Timmering, co-owner of Bearnose, said he'll buy the pizza when they're ready to meet. "Those guys, they saved me," Henshaw said. "There's no doubt about it, and I am beyond thankful. If it wasn't for them intervening and recognizing that I was in trouble and helping me, I'm sure that I would have been assaulted in one form or another. If they didn't intervene, something was going to happen to me." Henshaw continues to be moved by the moment.
And that's a platitude. If they start assaulting him and physically making him fear for his life, he's going to pull out that weapon he carries for his self-defense.
Doesn't mean he's not going to be injured.
Yeah, he might be injured, but he would be alive and probably facing murder charges because people are stupid now.
True.
The criminal is more important than the victim.
I mean, he's never said that he was afraid he was going to die. He mentally was preparing himself to be injured. I
don't care. I'm not going to take a beating. I'm not going to be accidentally murdered because, they didn't try to kill me, but okay. They weren't trying to kill me, but I'm dead anyway. Fuck that.
I'm just saying,
How many times are you going to let somebody bounce your head off a sidewalk or a metal bar before you decide, okay, I might die? I'm going to go with not once.
But something was going to happen to him, even if he did use his weapon.
But you know what? It's one of those judgment calls. If I'm out there, if there's people out there intent on doing harm to people who aren't trying to harm them, then they are bad people. They're not good people. So they don't really deserve to live in our society because they broke the social contract. If they break the social contract, then they have to pay the consequences for that. We have a set of laws that we all agree on that the law enforcement is supposed to go out there and enforce. Sometimes they overstep their bounds, but they're not there to protect you or me. They're there to hold society together. We're responsible for our own self-defense, just like he is. That's why he carries a gun. He doesn't carry a gun to protect you or me or Joe Blow on the street. Nothing like that. He carries the gun specifically to protect himself.
And if anybody else gets protected, then that's just bonus.
That's why if some chick, it's just bonus. So if some chick goes in the wrong apartment and she shoots a black guy in his own house, she should go to jail. If this asshole kneels on somebody's neck for 9 minutes and doesn't even check on him after he goes non-responsive and he's bleeding out of his nose, then, yeah, that guy should go to jail. If a vigilante fights over a gun with a suspected criminal, then yeah, they should go to jail. Not for as long because, they were fighting over a gun. It's not cold-blooded murder. It's blatantly obvious in the video. But there's all these other things. Every other incident, like, they damn threw fits over that woman who used her boy, her son, as a human shield while she raised a shotgun to shoot cops. And they're like, oh, she was unjustly killed.
I must have missed
She
that.
was holding a baby, a little boy.
When was this?
It's one of those, the last time there was an election cycle.
Okay.
Every election cycle, they pick out an incident and they blow it up out of proportion, you know? Well, this is the first time, and since all of them started, that they're actually legit. Like, the Michael...
That the complaint
what's
is...
that? The dude that has a statue in Minnesota, Michael Brown,
That sounds
who
right.
was actually assaulting a police officer and got killed. Hands up, don't shoot. 100% false narrative, proven by all of the witnesses on the stand in the grand jury. That cop's life is fucking ruined. And all he did was save his own life from being murdered by a guy who just got done robbing another dude down the street. Bullshit. And then Philando Castro, that's the dude got scared. Also, if the cop's telling you don't reach for your gun, don't reach for your gun.
Sounds right.
But, yeah. At least this time it's real stuff. Except there's still, who's most affected by all this violence and looting? Black people. Black lives really don't give a fuck about anybody unless it's a white person killing a black person. Not, oh, look at all these people that don't have jobs anymore because you burned down fucking Target and half your city. Look at all these people that are going to go back into the penitentiary revolving door because all this video is going to come out where they're burning police stations. And some little kid gets swept up in all the drama and the violence and all that stuff. His life is fucked now because he followed the wrong, pack leader. Made a bad decision. Now he's on a video somewhere, causing damage or looting or burning down a building.
Well, anyway, that was nice to read from Yahoo because Yahoo doesn't usually post things like that.
Of pieces of shit.
By the numbers, Trump reads economic boom into jobs data. President Donald Trump has always been a big numbers guy. This is a particularly clear example of his lack of cognitive complexity, said Brian Ott. Yeah, things like this. That's more like Yahoo. Back to normal, said Brian Ott, incoming director of the communications school at Missouri State University and author of The Twitter Presidency. Donald J. Trump, blah, 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 the name of his book, from Associated Press. I mean, jobs are coming back.
Yeah.
We might get back to the economic boom that we were having.
Give us
positivity,
hope.
Yeah, hope.
And every time he turns around to try to give somebody hope, he gets fact checked.
And shit on.
Fact check, you shouldn't be this hopeful. Because most likely it's not going to be that cheerful. Fuck you, dude. 329 million people in this country. And less than 1% got COVID, and less than 0.02%, or 0.2? No, it's 0.02%.
That sounds right.
Died from complications, not from the actual illness itself. But, it's a fucking pandemic. Well, what about the other 327.5 million people that didn't get it? Or that already had it and got over it?
Well, this is sort of old news. I already read about it. Reddit co-founder leaves board, urges black replacement.
Oh, that racist motherfucker.
Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian announced his resignation from the board of the social media site.
A noble, privileged white will relinquish my chair at the table to allow a non-white to succeed.
To ascend.
I am the white knight you need. Because black people cannot achieve things on their own through hard work and perseverance. No, they must be allowed to by the graciousness of a humble white man.
and urged the board to replace him with a black candidate.
What happened? In 20 years, we went from the KKK is wrong to every single person out there and all the black people that are spokespersons for all this crap. They're spouting the same message as the Ku Klux Klan.
That they're solely defined
And
by
they've
their skin color.
changed their word from supremacy to privilege. So now, white supremacy is not only, it's not a goal anymore. White supremacy has been achieved according to these people.
Mm-hmm.
And because there's more white people than black people and more white people than minorities, that must mean that the white people are superior.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, but they call it privilege now. Because you can't have the white privilege without the acknowledgement that white superiority is the norm. Because they don't admit to any other kind of privilege, not legal or anything. Like the legal privilege that minorities get all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And how Congress is trying to force some more of that legal privilege out there.
Mm-hmm.
Even though twice as many white people get killed by cops anyway. Whatever. Not to get into that part. But what happened that white supremacy is the norm now? That all black people, all these Black Lives Matters and all these other groups and organizations have accepted that black people are superior, but instead of them being lofty and in control about it, they need to feel guilty about it and give up their supremacy to allow black people to succeed, or minorities.
I was watching
peoples of color. Well, it can't be
Can we
colored
just
people. It's
can
gotta
we
be
just go
peoples
back to
of
saying
color.
colored people? I mean, I kind of
No.
like the way it sounds. It's pretty.
No, that's
It's pretty. They're colored.
So are we. So are white people.
I know.
But
I
guess
like to think of myself as peachy
If
keen.
they're not different,
What do you
they're
think?
not special.
Peachy keen.
Peachy keen is no.
You can be peachy keen too.
No.
I think you're peachy keen. It's
Don't
a pretty
be a
color.
dork.
I was watching the Fireside
No,
Chat.
the reason it keeps changing. Okay, go on.
I was watching the Fireside Chat with Dennis Prager this morning, and he read a tweet from somebody saying,
Tweet.
yes, he read from this person explaining that not seeing color is not the goal because that's racist. What the goal is to say, I see your color and I honor you for it. It's so gross.
Why would you honor somebody for color?
Ah, yeah.
Hey.
You didn't.
Good job, your parents.
You didn't color yourself. That's how you were
It's
born.
so good that your parents did not mix races. That's what you're saying?
Or if they did, hey, good on them. You got a nice color there. I honor you for your color. So gross.
I am so sorry that both of your parents were white.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't honor you for that.
You
Screw you.
cannot be honored.
Screw you, guy.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
White supremacy, black supremacy, brown supremacy, yellow supremacy, whatever color you want to throw in there, supremacy is stupid.
Mm-hmm. How about
because you didn't have anything to do with it.
Intelligence supremacy. Let's honor people for their intellects.
You could do that.
That's what I'm saying. How about that?
Yeah.
Instead of, I mean, if there has to be, if people need to
recognize people for what they do.
Yeah.
Who they are. Just because your parents banged, you shouldn't get. That's like the free self-esteem. Like, you should feel good about being you. And you just be you and just live your life and do your truth. Mm-hmm. No, don't be a piece of shit. Be a good human. Mm-hmm. Do the right thing. Mm-hmm. Even when nobody's watching. Just do your thing. But the right thing. But you can't be proud of being whatever color you are. It's stupid. You didn't have anything to do with that. Mm-hmm. You didn't travel through time and get your parents together. You're not Marty McFly. Wouldn't that have been weird, though, if he'd have banged his own mom and got her pregnant?
Oh, my. That happened in that Ethan Hawke movie. Something like that.
Yeah, No, that's a stupid Johnny Depp movie. I know what I know which one you're talking about. Mm-hmm. pretty good for being a crappy time travel movie. But can't be proud of your skin color. It's so dumb. Be
Kinda
proud
like-
because you graduated high school.
It's kind of like being proud of your sexual orientation.
I'm proud
Not
of my
to
sexual-
open another can of worms or anything like
I'm
that.
proud of being straight. I'm proud of being gay. No, if it's a choice, then okay, you can be proud of your choice. But if it's not a choice, you didn't have anything to do with that.
And
So how the fuck are you having pride?
if it is a choice, then that kind of goes in the face of some sort of ideologies.
Oh yeah, if it is a choice, then it goes against everything they're trying to say. Mm-hmm. So it's a contradictory. Mm-hmm. Also, how can you have LGBTQAI00XYZ number 2 hashtag numbers? Mm-hmm. That whole group, because the first 4, and they're like allegedly 157 to 255 genders.
Ah.
So isn't LGB bi?
Yeah.
Isn't bi bigoted? Because it only says that there's 2 genders?
So it should be changed to LGP? Pan?
No, there's a P in there already.
I know, but maybe, whatever.
But
I've always disagreed with the.
Pan is not.
I disagree with the T being.
Is like
I think
the
it's
fuck
stupid.
anything.
I think it's stupid that they squeezed the T in there at the end before they added all the other stuff, because LGB is about who you want to have sex with. T is not about that. It doesn't depend on what gender you are. Who you want to be with. You know, it's like it doesn't belong.
It doesn't belong.
Which one of these does not
because you're
belong to
either,
that?
You know, because of the bi part. The bi says, okay, the LGBT, right? So bi means you're into both, right?
Yeah, but it still has nothing
So it
to do
means
with
there's
the T.
only 2, which means you can only be a lesbian or gay. Because you're one or the other. Trans is just a way to say I want to be different. Because if I'm a trans man, then I want to be recognized as a man. I don't want to be seen as something other. If I'm a trans woman, I want to be seen as a woman, not something other. Anybody who's wanting to be seen as trans and treated special because of being trans wants to be made special by being an other.
That's most likely a transgender.
They want
not really a transgender.
special recognition. Because every trans woman I know doesn't want to be called a trans woman. Mm-hmm. She doesn't want people to look at her funny when she goes to the ladies' room. She doesn't want people to look at her funny when she's just doing things that women do. Mm-hmm. Anyway, sorry.
I opened that can of worms.
Yeah.
Ohanian, who is white, implicitly linked his move to protests around the globe over the killing of George Floyd, blah, blah, blah. No shit. Of course he did. That's what everybody's doing. Everybody has to get their opinions out there as long as it's the right opinion. Ad. A nurse discovered her husband lives a double life. Wait, this was the same ad yesterday. Maybe, wasn't it? Yeah, Rebecca came back from work and realized she needs to put a roof over her daughter's head. And I still don't know. I don't understand what this has to do with fresh edits trending.
Fresh edits.
I have
Maybe
no
it's a
idea.
story thing.
Oh, maybe. Protesters support Black Lives Matter on 3 continents. Ooh, good for them. The demonstrations followed the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis. Obviously. That doesn't mean that they're all about
3
that,
continents, so Eurasia
though. Australia's a continent.
and Australia.
Europe.
Eurasia.
What?
They changed it. It's Eurasia now.
Whatever.
It's only 6 continents, not 7.
Musk says time to break up Amazon, fueling Bezos' feud. From Bloomberg. Tesla Inc. Chief Executive Officer Elon Musk said it's time to break up Amazon in a tweet Thursday, escalating...
That's because Amazon should not be censoring books.
Are they doing that?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're digital book burning over there. They're saying, we don't agree with this book, so therefore we're going to not allow it to be sold.
Escalating a rivalry with Amazon.com Inc. CEO Jeff Bezos, another billionaire investing in space exploration. Monopolies are wrong, Musk tweeted while tagging Bezos, the
Monopolies
world's
are
wealthiest, probably
That's
the
why we
world's
have
wealthiest man.
antitrust laws. But also, we should. I would watch that. I would pay to watch that. Jeff Bezos versus Elon Musk, in a cage.
Elon Musk would probably win.
Yeah, because he's fucking weird. And Bezos, he just like bangs other chicks, not his wife. But when you got $1 billion, dick's gonna dick.
Charged up about fuel cell vehicles in China, Toyota forms new joint venture. China aspires to have more electric aspires to have more electric vehicles on its roadways in the next 5 years, and Toyota thinks it can help.
Yay, Toyota! Shout out San Antonio.
It's good for Toyota.
I
Except for
wasn't listening.
the Communist Party thing.
Oh yeah, communist motherfuckers. Yeah, but San Antonio Toyota's not communist.
No, I'm saying they wanna get in bed with communist China, basically.
Yeah, because it's cheap labor. Anytime you get communism or socialism, you gotta love the labor because it's super cheap. Because it's basically slavery.
I would feel very
Poor
conflicted.
people stay poor.
I would feel very conflicted about that.
About what?
You said you gotta love the labor if you're doing it.
I mean, if you're doing business or whatever.
Like, sure, I would appreciate it, but I'd be very conflicted. Just like the stimulus check.
Venezuela worked out
I
so
appreciated the stimulus money very much, but I was super conflicted about it. Have
Yeah,
you heard how much Canadians are getting?
No.
It's like,
I want Canadian dollars.
It's
not
like-
really
it's-
ever.
I can't remember. It's like
Fuck Canada.
$6,000 a month, like 10,000
Spanish
total.
had it right. They wrote it on the map.
I don't remember.
Acá,
It's
nada.
ridiculous. It is ridiculous, and I really think that they're going to end up regretting it. Like, each person is going to receive $10,000 total.
Holy shiitake mushrooms. Where'd they get that money? Oh, yeah. They don't have to pay as much for their military because they don't pay their bills when they pay us to protect them. That's our largest exporters in the military because other countries are supposed to pay us for the money they're not spending on their military budget. Because, don't worry, we can't kick your ass because we're Canada. But we pay this guy over here, this America, this Uncle Sam, he'll kick your ass.
If I can't kick your ass, I know my brother will.
Yeah. The whole fucking planet other than China became my sister.
Simplified election coverage. Inform your vote with one clear place to focus on the facts, issues, and candidates that matter to you. Visit the Yahoo News 2020 Election Center. I really would not trust Yahoo News to inform me about everything. What's hot? Oh, it's Yahoo Search again. I'm shocked. Trending now. Black Lives Matter. Sheila Kiss. Coronavirus. Hurricane Cristobal. I love that name. Frankie Valli. Ooh. I wonder why he's trending. Sherry. Sherry, baby. Sherry. Really?
I don't know.
Oh. Sherry, baby. Sherry, babe. Okay, I need to find out why Frankie Valli's trending. Okay, so I clicked on his name, but this isn't really telling me why.
Probably because your phone
What?
tracks the music and the things that you like. So they generate.
I haven't listened to Frankie Valli in a long time.
Yeah, but you probably listen to something in that age group.
Eh.
With your elderly listening to styles.
Oh, news. What does it say under news?
Are you still recording?
Yes.
Oh. If they got to this point, they're like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is Richie or Frankie Valli?
If anybody ever watches my videos, and then is like, who the fuck is Frankie Valli, then they can go away. I don't need their views.
Yeah. You don't mean that.
I sort of mean that. I don't really mean that.
You don't really mean
Well, whatever.
that. Because time is the most valuable thing that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So we wouldn't waste our time doing the stupid videos.
Stupid videos.
And feel good about not getting anything back in return as far as a single view. You know.
And a downvote.
And
Or
a downvote.
dislike, or whatever it's called.
I'll take a downvote. That means that my time was worth something. It was worth that person's time to give me a downvote.
Mm-hmm.
It was worth that person's time to watch my shit once. Or part of it. Or like the first 30 seconds of it. Realize that you're not flashing tits. Exit out of the video. Boom.
Sooner or later, I'll start using the front camera. I just am not confident in myself.
I'm gonna buy me a bra.
Oh, stop. After Frankie Valli, Philips AED prices. Don't know what that is. Billie Eilish. I'm the bad guy.
Billie Eilish? Is that the thing?
She's the bad guy. Waiver liability form.
Wait, is she a guy?
No, that's the name of one of her songs. Bad guy. She's not a guy, no.
Well, some salted caramel. How do you know?
LLC registration.
Are you assuming her gender?
Michael Douglas.
What about Michael Douglas?
I don't know. If I click on it, it's probably not really going to tell me why either. All right. That's all. We talked a lot more than I thought we would.